too far. Far too far. Oh, just a little bit will do, please. There we go. Still having issues with my tripod, so hopefully hopefully this goes kind of smooth today. I think I've got everything kind of set up here. And I'm hoping that excuse me. I'm hoping that by using the light box today that will help fight some of the focus issues that I tend to have. Let's see. Get that even a little more even. That's not shabby. We can almost see them all. And they look well lit. Wow, okay. So, this was a day for little rocks. And I found so many I could not carry them all in my bag. So, I wound up putting a bunch of them in my shirt and carrying them in my shirt like a pouch, which, come on, do I have absolutely no self-control? Why do I do that to me? I did it. I did that to me the other day on this hunt. So we'll just kind of get into some of these here in just a minute. I'm going to have a couple sips of coffee and wait for everyone to kind of tune in if they're going to. Yeah, and it was such a nice day. Goodness. I apologize there. That sounds better. That feels better too. It was such a nice day. Like, I wasn't burning in the sun. The bugs were a little not kind, but it wasn't the worst ever. Good morning, Rufo. And it was hard to stop when the weather's nice and you're making finds. And I was like, the next find, and then I'll stop and go back to the truck. And then I'd find something and I'd be like, okay, the next find. I should learn how to better control myself. All right. So these were just a few of my favorites that I picked up on that walk that day. And we'll go through them. We'll kind of look at them together. Noise warning. If you're wearing a headphone, watch out for the noise. There, that wasn't bad at all. There's a little coral fossil. And he's completely turned to jasper. Rocky Mountain Bear. Everybody, hide your picnic baskets. There's a bear in the campground. There's a little bit of agate banding in this, but it's really not anything spectacular. But yeah, there's a little fossil, little coral fossil chunk. What next? So speaking of fossily things, this is, well, never mind the scuzz, but this is a chunk of, I don't know what you would call this. Chalcedony, agate, and slim. Boy, we got quite a crowd in here this morning. But it almost looks like it's got a little bit of like a coral something happening. I'll probably send that to Rufo and he can have a closer look at it. I almost finished your package last night, Rufo, and Jeff too, if and when he tunes in. But I ran out of packing tape. So the boxes are packed and ready to go, but not taped shut. So I'm like, ooh, I still have an opportunity to throw things in there and add this and add that. So I'll probably go grab some packing tape. Brother said he might come up this afternoon, and he said he'd bring some packing tape up with him, but if he changes his mind, I'll run down and grab some right after this and throw those in the mail soon. I don't know what that is, by the way, that we just looked at. I just liked it, so I picked it up and brought it home. Let's see. I wonder if this little bit in here isn't reminiscent of some fossil happening. But this piece almost agatey as well. Kind of a jasp agate. There's some neat banding and things happening up in there. Something maybe fossily, I don't know. I thought it was pretty, so I packed it home with me. Yeah, me too. I reuse a lot of packing material, but and I actually that's the first roll of tape I've gone through in a long time, and so I was looking at it and thinking, should I get another roll? I was like, nah, it should be enough to go around in there. And then I got a little carried away with the tape being over secure. You know, I want this package to not fall open on the bottom or whatever. And then next thing I know, I was out of packing tape. I don't know what this is. Little Jasper. I don't know. I liked it. Good morning, brother. What are we going to find when you're up here? Well, I keep licking rocks, so I'm hoping to find a Dinobone. But a big chunk of common opal would be cool. Big agate would be cool. This one we need to see wet. Blue agates. I agree. That would be lovely. Al Gold's been cutting rocks. Look out. I just like all this fine detail between the pink and the yellow or peach or cream or whatever color that is. I love all that fine little detail in there. So, you know, may go to a tumbler or something someday. I've got a huge tumbler too that I need to look at and see what's in. This isn't really anything special. I just kind of liked some of the pattern in it. Ooh, I bet you find some coffee. Some coffee from that far off made up land called Canada. Come get some Canadian coffee, brother. Wow, a blue star quartz. Holy moly. I was going through my sapphires last night, and I've got some sapphires with some star in them, and they're beautiful. Oh, look at this little cutie, you guys. I would take one of these, like, you know, saw size, 3-inch chunk of this would make my day. But in the meantime, what a little cutie. In this pocket too is a little bit of druzy, but you know, that it's so small and druzy's so difficult that just take my word for it. Look at the little eyes in it. It is so cute. It is so cute. So we'll just keep trudging along because we got tons to look at here. There's no end in sight. We'll just visit along the way. Take it is so small, brother. Even if I put the thinnest blade on the trim saw, I don't think I could cut that little guy. Here's just a jasper, but good golly, it was dark. Yeah, bummer, Slim. And couldn't be cabbed it the wrong way, couldn't get the start pop. That's, you know, and sometimes they're just not going to, no matter which way you do it. Ooh. Let's look at this dry really quick first. Do you guys see that like fossil pattern in there? And then not to mention the boom, 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 little stacked fossil there. This piece is just loaded. This is actually a really gorgeous piece. I don't know if it's going to show. We're going to try it. Some of the sapphire material that I get between here and Idaho is got some garnets in it, but nothing that I could ever cab. They're also very small. But I know that I've seen some that are just tremendous and spectacular. So garnets can be really pretty. We get a lot of garnet and it mixed in our rocks. Look at that little fossil guy right there, you guys. But they're small. They're so small that I don't get too excited about it. Yeah, this whole mix here between this brown and red is a bunch of smashed up little fossil bits or whatever. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely a chunk right there. Yeah, not very many garnets, as far as I know. Not very many of them have the star, so this one's interesting. Thanks, Al. I love this mix here between this like red jasper, and then there's like even this little like agate blop on top, and then the, I don't know, more jasper or the chalcedony or the agate maybe even that's in here is just so pretty. This was one of my earlier finds in the day, and I was like, man, I hope the whole day goes like this, just like this. And it kind of did. It was just nothing really much bigger than that. I think the biggest thing I found that day was a Saturnian nodule. Awesome. Well, thanks, Rufo, for listening while you're out and about. Out in a boat, as we say up here in Canada, right? Hey, how's it going, Jeff? I love this like pink and mauve. Whatever this matrix is in here could probably get lost. But oh, buddy, I think that's a pretty rock. You're really bold down there. Really dark and bold. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I couldn't, I picked it up and was like, I'll take that. Here's one of those, excuse me again, one of those rocks with all the little beady fossils in it. And I just can't say no to some of those either. They're just so cool. Look, it looks like kind of like a fish or something. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, sorry. Taking it a bit too far there. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Anyway, I think that's just a darling little rock. I had to pick it up and bring it with me. I just did. Um, I love some of these conglomerates that we find out here. They're about as hard could be. So they're not a lot of fun to cut or try to polish even, but they're not bad in a tumbler if you've got the patience for a tumbler. But yeah, what a weirdo, huh? I love that interesting mix there. So I bring those home. And Jeff also is doing the Rufo. He's just eavesdropping. That's cool. You guys can eavesdrop. Check on chat when you get a minute. I like this mix between the top dark color, how it comes down into this lighter yellow bit here. If you guys don't know me by now, the reds and yellows are some of my favorite colors. I tend to pick them up more often than other colors. But I don't I don't I don't judge. I love all rocks equally, but they tend to be more and more favorite. This was one that I showed the sneak peek of on the hangout last time. Like I say, this whole end over here is like completely agate. Look at the little ring around the end that caps off that little agate end. And then the banding that runs all the way around this thing is pretty wild as well. All the way up. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. I was pretty stoked at that. That alone was worth going out, spending the day in the nature. Here's one that was super weird to me. I thought it really looked just like a regular old quartz, really, but it's like super bubbly. I should have showed it dry. It showed better dry. Anyway, okay, okay. We'll move on from that one. Here's one. Here's a little weirdo. How could I say no to that? It's small, but it's mighty. Look at that one face there. This pow. This is, what is this? Is this even worth looking at? Is this even worth bringing home? Yeah, it's got some stuff going on. It does. Nothing truly thrilling. So we'll move on pretty quick. Here, there's a little wicked little guy. He's so wicked. He's so wicked. Look at all the agate banding in that one. Pretty dang cool. Again, if we're going to ask for rocks for this afternoon, I'd take a big chunk of that. This one, let's see if we can get right up in here. Can you guys see all the little fossil detail in there? Trying to find, let me see, I'm trying to find it with my eyeball and then show you before I get it wet. I think that, oh yeah, like right here too. I'm going to get it wet maybe. Nope. Right there though. See the little fan coral? And then there's obviously some weird stuff happening up in here. Good morning, Mom. Little piece of coral right there. Anyway, I can't get enough of that tiny little fossil stuff that's all trapped up in our rocks. I think it's cool. I'm glad you stopped in. Mom's been threatening to come up and do a Sunday fun day. Walk with me on a Sunday. Again, just this piece is just loaded with those little fossils. They've showed better in some of the other rocks we've looked at. There's a little one right there, like that dark red one. This is weird. This one looks like it's got an eyeball. Some kind of eyeball looking right at you. I love it. It's just weird enough that I had to bring it home. The weirder, the better. I love weird. I love weird and unusual. It's what makes my world go round. Look at the little brecciation or brecciate, however you say it, brecciation happening in that one. It's kind of like the bigger one, only like such a super tight weave. Who knows? Maybe it's even just a little fossil of some kind that I'm just not identifying. Who knows? Maybe it's just a rock. It's a rock for sure. We do know that. What else do I have handy? Jeff's kind of just eavesdropping, which is cool. He's definitely allowed to do that. But here are a couple of the littles that I gathered this day. There's a little, pardon me, a little mini septarian. Only he's not really sceptery. He's more, his little glowy bits are kind of round and, but he's cute. He's just a tiny little nodule. This is reminiscent of a septarian, except it's like all turned to jasper and the banding is gone to agate. So I thought that was kind of cool. I actually picked this one up going this direction and was like, ooh, it's got potential. Of course, it was like buried in up to about here in dirt. You know, that's kind of all I saw was that little bit sticking out. And I was like, it's got potential. Let's see what happens. And then I was like, well, sure, we'll put it in a bag. Well, sure. Got one heck of a face on it. We'll put it in the bag. Let's see. And then there was this one. I'm trying to decide which direction it was facing when I found it. Possibly this way. Don't remember. And I was like, okay. It's, you know, this little bottom isn't much to look at, but what a nice little self-standing piece there. And you know she glows. So yeah, there's a couple of little, well, not little, some of the bigger stuff that I put in my bag that day. For you, Jeff. Let me have a quick sip of coffee here and I'll go grab the next little batch of rocks. And give you something to look at while I leave. Like what? The eye. And that one. And where's that one with the banding on it? Because that was one of my favorite. That one. There we go. Those are probably a few of my favorite rocks from that day. All right. And then so many more rocks still. Ooh. Dripping. Drippy on me. Okay. Like I said, I love the yellow. I was telling somebody a story one time, I can't recall who now, that the Yellowstone River was named after this yellow jasper. That, contrary to popular belief, that it wasn't named after gold at all. It was named after this yellow jasper that's so abundant. And they were like, really? No. No, that is a total lie. But it was fun to pull your leg for just a second. So, but I love these. These are one of my favorites. They're just, I love the reds and the yellows that we get up here. This one's again that fine. Uh-oh. Let me go see what my dog's throwing a fit about. Well, she's not being too persistent. She just had the one little bark. What are you barking at? What you barking at? Get in your yard. Come on. Are you barking at the kids? Is it lunchtime? She might be barking at my boy since she didn't carry on. Sorry about that little interruption there. I don't let my dog bark at passersby. She needs to not be rude. Speaking of eyeball looking rocks, My fence is kind of yarded. Good morning. My yard is kind of fenced. All right. My yard is kind of fenced, and for the most part, my dog really doesn't leave the yard. She leaves on occasion to go visit her buddy down the street and to get some dog snacks from her buddy down the street. And I went there once. I was like, yeah, let's go hang out. Well, I'll take you there. You don't have to just sneak off and go. I'll take you. And our friend down there was like feeding her handfuls of snacks. And I was like, well, no wonder she comes down here like every other day to see you. So she doesn't visit as often when we're busy and hiking and walking around and stuff. She gets pretty tired and stays closer to home. But yeah, I just don't let her bark. But like I say, the yard is mostly fenced, and really for the most part, she stays home, and she is very polite and doesn't bother anybody. I don't know what that is. It looked kind of agony. Again, the littles that I collected the other day was just ridiculous. This was kind of crazy. This had, I don't know. I mean, there's some little fossil guys in here. There's one there. There's one kind of, and I'm not sure if these little things are fossil. There's one there. I'm not sure if the little bands are fossils or not. So there's one there too, yeah. So that had to come home and have a little bit closer look at it. There's nothing really going on that back side there. But yeah, I mean, what's happening in there? I thought I'd check it out a little. Oh, what else is in here? This was cool. This was, I mean, really different. So home it came. This bit here is agate for sure. And yep, the kids are home. How's work?
Fun. They're like vibrating with dirt so that it
yeah. I like this agate bit on top. It's weird.
Do you need anything while I'm in Great Falls?
No.
Want me to get anything, Caden?
Oh, yeah. Why don't I don't know. I'm afraid. Pardon me for just a second. I'm afraid to send you to Great Falls with money because the last time I did that,
that was a misunderstanding.
You came home with like none of my money.
Not a whole lot of it, no.
And zero of what I asked you to get with it. I mean, the things you did get were fine. Here's some petrified wood, guys, that I found.
What would you want me to get, Caden?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could probably
like a
find him a t-shirt or something that he'd jam on. Yeah.
Something.
I don't exactly know. This is cool. Check this agate out.
Oh, you're on live.
I am on a live. I don't know where my money's at. Is it in my pants I'm wearing right now? No. If you find it. Oh, I'll raid Mom's soda stash while I'm here. That's fine. Keeps you from stopping at the store and buying one. I wonder if this thing ever clears up, if this agate ever clears up, or if it just stays like frothy and bubbly all the way through. That is the most prairie agate of all prairie agates I might have found recently. That thing is not very good for much. It's just so pimply, puckery.
No, maybe. Sure.
Oh my goodness, yes. If you take that.
And then I'll send you like a picture.
Yeah, stay in touch.
What does Caden want this?
Here's a little pink and yellow agate. All right. Oh, this one's weird. I don't know what it is, but I like that. Like I say, I like weird, even if it's not something I'm ever going to do anything with. Sometimes I'm just like, the weirder the better. It's weird. Yeah, the little puckery pimplies. And then this one, yeah, is all bumpy. Who knows what? Is that Jasper? Who knows? Kind of bizarre.
Okay. Odin's expected to arrive at the airport around 6.
6?
Yes.
So you're going to go shopping before Odin gets here?
Yes. And I'm gonna go plan with Austin, so we might not leave for like an hour or two.
Okay. You know what? I might cash app you some money to like go grab some lunch goodies or something at
Okay.
Wally.
Okay.
So you can get like some chips or something.
Do you want any special like soda or?
No.
Okay.
Oops. Knocked my box around.
Alrighty.
All right, please just be safe.
I don't know if I'm gonna leave yet. I'm just getting really ready.
Yeah, well, and just because I don't know what this is, but I thought I liked it. I don't know if I still do or not.
I love you, Mama. Thank you.
Yeah, baby, I love you too. This one, we'll look at it first and see if we can see that little druzy in there. Get Rufo some chips and some packing tape. Just kidding. Oh, let's get the focus. Come on, focus. Actually, no, the autofocus is better for seeing the druzy, isn't it? So we'll ride there for just a second. This is just like a big old chunk of like Jasper with a big old fossil chunk right smack in the middle of it. The rest of it is rather unremarkable, unextraordinary. But there she is. Let's see, the focus is not good on my end all of a sudden. Anyway. What else? Speaking of weird, like puckery, pimply, weird things. I don't exactly know what to say about or make of this one. I'm gonna get it down here in this light. See if, yeah. I mean, it's not a closer view, but it gets a little better light on it. And then we'll try to bring it back up here. Fighting the focus. And the light. We're fighting the focus and the light. Typical. Very typical. Anyway, when I picked this up, I really wasn't sure. I was like, ooh, that could be a like mess of fossil stuff. I don't think it is. I think now that I've kind of come through and washed things up, I don't think that's the case with that rock. But when you're out, couple of agates. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? I'm going to pitch him off to the side so we can look at the next one. Again, this is not one you would probably really make like jewelry with or anything. In fact, it's got a piece of its host rock still stuck on the bottom of it there, but I like the little white blue almost hue to the banding right there. It's so fine. You guys almost can't even see it. Pretty sure you can't actually. So yeah, a couple little tiny agates. There's maybe even another couple down in there. Here's some red and yellow jasper. Yellow on one side, red on the other. Really unremarkable, really. So we can kind of chug along there. Ooh, this one. How cool is this, you guys? Look at all the little fossils in there. Stay focused. I know I'm shoving it right up in my camera, but stay focused. Aren't those cool? And so many of my jaspers are full of these little tiny fossils. So many. And they're so abundant out here, like so many red, brown, yellow jaspers, and then like I say, so many of them that have these fossils that like I could just pick these up for days and days and days. Some of these are not even jasper, they've fully agatized even, and they're full of this precious little details. And the jaspers and the agates polish. As long as there's not a big fracture running through, they polish and make beautiful jewelry with all that fine detail in it. It's just some of the coolest material. I mean, I might be just a little like, it's what I have, so I think it's the coolest, but I think it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, I think it's worth taking a look at, a moment to look at. Why not with coffee and friends? We'll take a moment to look at it together. Looks like a squishy fish face with eyeballs, the bear says. The bear's got fish on the brain. Is the bear hungry? I don't know what this is, but I liked that little detail in there. I mean, it's hard. It's jasper hard or whatever. But just a little quartz of some kind. Jasper, maybe, if you want it to be so bold. Same thing. Kind of hurry through. I got tons of these, you guys. Oh yeah, so I was talking about in the very beginning that I overfilled my bag because I have no self-control. I overfilled my bag, so I started, instead of calling it a day and coming home, excuse my sniff, I started putting rocks in my shirt and carrying them like a little pouch, like a 9-year-old. I like that blue down in there. That's pretty. So I want to know, have you guys ever done that? If you're not, driving or, whatever, cabbing something right now, if you've got your hands available, let me know. Have you ever collected so many rocks that you had to put them in your shirt and carry them out in your shirt like a 7-year-old? That's really a dark rock, but it's got some pretty little detail. I'm having a hard time picking up the reds. It's red. The detail is red. That's why it's not showing up. Maybe. Maybe you've carried rocks out like a 9-year-old. This rock really pushes the border between, here again, some like red detail through here that's not showing up very good. Pushes the border between, is it jasper, is it agate, is it agate? Some of my rocks kind of push that border. This one looks pretty. Excuse my sniff. It's forest fire season up in Canada right now. Literally just a stone's throw up to cross the border from here. I live right on the border, pretty much. Calling myself a Camerican. But we had a whole troop full of Model T cars roll through here yesterday. That was kind of exciting. And they stopped and parked and let everybody take pictures and gawk at them. And they hung out for a little while and then they rolled on to their next destination. That was kind of cool. But there were a few days before that, I would say maybe on Saturday, pardon me. Ooh, I can see little fossils in this with my naked eye. Do you see it? You do, don't you? And like a little bubbly bits over here. Ooh, see, I knew this was a pretty rock. I just about can't pick up a jasper or a jasp agate without it having something that kind of resembles, look at that, kind of resembles some agate banding. But anyway, so Saturday, more like arson season. Yeah, you might be right about that, I think. There were smoke jumpers from Nevada that stopped in for fuel, and we asked, me and another guy that were at the store asked, are you guys headed to or coming from Canada? And they were like, well, actually, we just got back. We just went home, and the fire flared back up, and so now they're calling us back up again. And I was like, well, Canada needs you. They need you up there. So thank you guys. So yeah, it was wild though. There were the trucks they drive kind of look like ambulances, or I guess they're fire trucks, but they're more boxy and smaller than fire trucks in my opinion. I don't, know a whole lot about it, but you'd think they'd be full of gear, that these trucks would be full of gear. Here's another red. Of course, we're not going to see him very well. You'd think they'd be all full of like, oxygen tanks and, firefighting suits and stuff, but I don't know how, but like 9 guys piled out of the back of one of those trucks. And I was like, what? There's got to be room for some like bottled water or something in there, hasn't there? But like, I don't know. It seemed packed wall to wall with guys. Maybe that's just how they get them up and down, and there's like a fire camp up there that'll take care of them. I don't know. But look at all the weird texture in that rock. I tell you guys, I find some weird things out here. And I like it like that. There's a pretty little agate. Oopies. Got some. See if I'm talented enough to do this. Yes. Can I get it off me without getting a dog hair? Oh, that's pretty. I like it. It might be little and it might be simple. Really, you could almost just call it a chalcedony instead of an agate, but I like it. I think it's pretty. I'm a simple girl. Simple things make me happy. Some of the simplest. And I feel sorry for people who aren't plumb tickled by the simple things in life. Like how disappointing would it be to be missing out on some of this stuff that's right below our noses that's absolutely beautiful. If you take time to smell the roses, or if you take time to look at a few rocks, it's a good meditation for me too. It distracts me from all of the chaos in the world, I don't have a cell phone. I have a phone, but I don't have a cell phone plan. And so when I leave my house, you have to physically know where to come find me. Here's another one of those super bubbly, almost useless prairie agates. You have to know where to come find me. You can't just message me when I'm out rock hounding. So when I'm out, I'm literally checked out. I'm not getting notifications for my fellow creators' YouTube content. I'm not getting Discord notifications. I'm not getting text messages. I literally check out when I go rock hounding. I like this. I like this very, very fine detail down here. I'm not sure that it's focusing to the best of its ability. Again, it's red. I'm going to have trouble with the red ones, I think, with the black background. That's, it's got all kinds of everything strange and unusual happening in it. Looks like someone colored, looks like someone scribbled on it. Yes, Rufo's going live after me, guys. If you missed that in the chat, if you're just listening, allow me to fill you in on that. I don't know what that is, but I liked the pattern in it. Allow me to fill you in that Rufo is going live after me, so you guys stay tuned. Heads up for that. There's a weird little, like, poppy agate. If there's a poppy jasper, can there be a poppy agate? Excuse me. What else is in here? Here, I'm just gonna grab a couple of littles and we'll look at them all together because I really don't know. It's so bright over here and so dark over here that, well, it's not as dark. I'm just having a hard time telling. I think this is just a little piece of feldspar or quartz to be exact. I don't think it's an agate or even a jasper. It looks pretty when it's wet. But, and then again, same thing here. This might, pardon, I'm going to have to look at it. It might be a little chunk of coral fossil, but if it is, it's hard to say. There's a little red jasper chunk, almost pushing that chalcedony agate line. Those we went through pretty quick, sorry. This also might be a little chunk of coral fossil. But it's pretty well unidentifiable at this point in time, right? Okay. What else is in here? Anything worth sharing with you guys? Oh yeah, this one. This one's cool. Hey, Spot joined us. If you didn't slow down and look real close, you'd have been like, that's just a dark, piece of quartz. But I gotta tell you, I think that's pretty. It's little, it's so little, it's little, but, but it's pretty. Take time for the little things in life, guys. Oh, and then when this is dry too, like there's little bits inside some of that stuff that druzy. All right, yeah, that was worth looking at. I'm glad we pulled that one out before we called it the end of this basket. What is that? I don't know. Looking a little bit agate-y. Definitely looking agate-y. But boy, it's dark. I don't know. And that reminds me, sometimes I get some like really dark agates, and I like this little guy. Check him out. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. This spot that looks really dark is actually completely see-through chalcedony. There, can you kind of see it at that angle? It looks dark, but I promise you that is a chunk of completely clear, like it comes all the way up to here. Clear chalcedony in there. Nothing to write home about, but it's kind of cool. This one's weird. We like weird. Really can't tell if that's focusing or not. Oh, it was for a second. I'm gonna make it show you guys even closer view if I can. I'm trying. Hang on, let me set this rocks in my lap and get up the other hand. So I'm trying to get you guys super focused up in here because I wonder if some of that pattern that we're seeing in there, if this isn't some kind of a coral fossil. Or is it just a, you know, a jasper, a jasp agate, prairie jasp? Could we call them prairie jasps? This one's kind of cool. Is that a critter in there? Right there. Is that a critter? Stay wet, rock. That might be. There's a little like critter hole. That might be a critter. Where'd it go? Right there. I don't know. Here's another piece of that weird, like, looks like one we looked at earlier. Jasper, maybe. Might even call that chert just because it's so kind of, oh, you know, like not clear, not translucent. Woohoo! The words today. Woo-wee. The words. Kind of a pretty little guy. Give him in the light so you can see a little different colors there. Yeah, you know. Oh, yeah. There's a critter. There's some more critter action happening. That's what, fan coral or coral of some kind there in that corner for sure. And then, like I say, whatever this little thing here is. Yeah. Some things happening there. What do you guys got going on in the chat here? The bear's brushing his mouth. Right on, PBR. Pigeon Blood's playing with some opals today, guys. I find common opal up here, but it does not really throw any flash. This is cool. Oh, I'm so bummed that this is already wet. Yeah, stay out of focus and show us this druzy in here, would you? Would you do that for us, camera? It's trying. Oh, I don't think it's gonna do it, guys. That whole pocket right there is full of druzy, of like the super finest, and the little band that comes all the way out to the edge. Sorry, I got it really shoved up. Maybe something will wave at you, Jeff. Was it Jeff that said that? Or who was it? Spot. Again, the yellows and the reds, I tend to really like them. But yeah, that little druzy pocket in there was like, yay! I saw that last night when I was cleaning these up. Ah, I want to look at it just a little bit longer. And it just tickled me. I was so delighted. I'm so simple, you guys. He's like, yeah, that makes me happy. Ooh, I finally found a dog hair. Let's see if we can kick that. Not bring it on camera. Check this out. Look at all the weird banding through that. Slim, I can hear my neighbor's chicken laying an egg. This was just a weird piece. It looked at first a little bit like a piece of pet wood, and then a little bit like a little sea maggot chunk, and then like quartz. So I was like, okay, since I'm so undecided about that rock, let's take it home and have a little closer look at it. What is this? I don't know. I really don't. And I don't know if it's worth keeping even. I think that's pretty much what we're getting down to in here now. In the bottom of this bowl, that one had a neat texture. Oh, it's not showing up at all on the camera. Yeah. Is it quartz? Is it jasper? Let's have a better look at it. I don't know. It looks like it could almost be the kind of rock that would have a fossil or two in it, but I don't see anything jumping out at me that is like, hey, look, I'm a fossil. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that one. Take it to the chopper. Get to the chopper. There's a little guy. Just a little. Again, is he jasper agate maybe? Getting really down to the bottom of this. Oh, there's a little piece of pet wood. There's a little like, again, the little like bumpity bump, but bump. There's just some stuff. Some littles. That one's kind of pretty. We'll finish out the whole rest of the basket just like that. That one's got some pretty banding in it. We looked at that one just a second ago. I said, why'd I keep that? Why'd I keep that? I don't know. I think we looked at that one earlier and I said, well, again, so many of these will have all the little fossils in them and stuff that sometimes I pick them up. I'm like, is that, I mean, is it? But I don't think that one does. That one might have tricked me. I like the pattern on this one. I probably could have left that one out in the field though. Can I get it all in one more handful? I think I can. That one probably does have a bunch of little fossils in it. That I wondered if that was a coral pattern in there, but I've looked at it and I don't think it is. Got some stuff happening in it, but what? I don't know. There's a little tiny bit of agate banding in that. I'm going to admit to you guys something kind of funny. I just now almost forgot what my left hand was doing. It's holding the basket that all these rocks just came out of. The strainer, actually. Strainer, that's a weird word. And I almost forgot I was holding it over here, and I almost just like dropped it on the floor while I was talking to you guys. So that was kind of interesting. I'm obviously suffering from lack of coffee intake. So allow me to resolve that. Awesome. So actually, you guys, we went through quite a humongous pile of rocks just now. I know we went through them like speed style, but yeah, there's some fun stuff in there. I don't know if it was worth packing all of this stuff home to the point that I fill my freaking shirt up like a 7-year-old. You guys. But I just kept telling myself, like, after the next good find, we'll call it a day. After the next good find, we'll call it a day. And then I'd, find a find that was worth calling it a day. And I'd be like, one more, just one more, and then we'll call it a day. Because like I say, I obviously have some self-control issues. That one is pretty. This one's cool. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously, this is some of my favorite stuff. This red. Sometimes it gets way more jaspery, but that one, I'll take it just the way it is, because some of that detail really, really, really shows up underneath of a jeweler's loop or an Optivisor or whatever. Here's that one with all of that agate banding in it. Whatever your viewing thing of choice is. Some of these weird jaspers today. Oh, there was one more here too. I wonder where I put it. And it was this walk. Let's see. And it had Jeff's name all over. Oh, there it is. And this one that has Jeff's name all over it. The pretty one where the color softly blends into the next. I was absolutely hyper-focused. This has got Jeff's name all over it. This is one that I actually did pick up this day too and thought about Jeff. And that I almost don't have room for it now here where the light is bright. That big, massive crystal in there, like twinned crystal, is really, really cool to look at in the UV. I mean, the whole thing is in it, and it could probably use a little bit more cleaning. Some of these big crystals up here really pop too, but so yeah, I've got a small selection of stuff here that actually, when I picked it up, I even said Jeff's name out loud. I was like, that's got Jeff's name on it. And then this one too. So see, what really happened is I did not pick up an abnormal amount of jaspers and agates and fossil rocks and things. What happened is I filled my bag for Jeff with all these big septarians and things. And then I had to carry the rest of my rocks home in my shirt. I'm blaming it on Jeff. Jeff, you're in the chat. Feel free to defend yourself if you'd like. I think Jeff would probably say, yeah, it's okay. It was my fault. And I get some cool septarians out of the deal. I don't know if you heard me in the beginning there, Jeff, but I was packing up packages last night and ran out of packing tape, like the actual packing tape to close the box. So I've got everything in there that I want to have in there to hit the mail, but I didn't have everything I needed to get it closed up last night. And so since it's sitting there open, I'm like, ooh, I could go drop this in. I could go drop that in still. I could still put this in. So you'll probably get more than just a box full of septarians. I mean, how boring would that be? I mean, that's not terribly boring, but I want to give you some other cool stuff, Jeff. So I've got some other stuff filling the spaces in between of the septarians in your box. Yeah, it's all your fault. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We're going to get you hooked up. Get you some beautiful specimens. Vinegar and hydrogen peroxide, which makes, interesting. Interesting, PBR. I've got a friend up here that does some like taxidermy work, and to get the skulls nice and white and bright, he'll mix hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and a little bit of bleach, and that sounds like a good way to make like a bomb to me. I was like, really? That's not gonna, like, you're not gonna suffocate in your garage with that combination or like blow something up with that? That like sounds like a mix for napalm. but it actually makes a nice paste that will stick to the bone and really clean it up. So, I mean, try whatever. I've got some stuff that I have a hard time getting off. I agree, Rocky Mountain Bear. Who's to say what abnormal is anyway? You know what? And the farther from normal, the more unique things are, the more absolutely, now that that's drying, can we see it? The more absolutely delighted I am by it. And too much of a good thing can be a bad thing because you can start to wear off the new. And then that thing that once delighted you can start to seem ordinary again. But be sure to always kind of do a little self-test. Make sure you're appreciating everything around you, that you're not getting so busy, mixed up and lost in the hype of things that you're forgetting what's exciting and what's abnormal, what's great. The alchemist in us all is coming out. We're like, yeah, I've tried that. And there was a time in my life when I used muriatic acid, like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I put that shit on everything. So I'm not quite an acid fan like I was so long ago. I've come to kind of appreciate some of the stuff that's on the rocks, especially now that I've got a good UV light and I can see some of that scuzz phosphorus. I kind of like to leave some of it on there now, knowing that it's in its own way kind of pretty. If it's obscuring the view of a really cool rock, though, then it's got to go. So I will still have an acid party once in a while where I'm like, yeah, I've been setting aside this handful of rocks and it's ready to hit the acid. So, but yeah, I've kind of skipped past the vinegar and the things like that and went straight for the acid. But I do have a particular scuzz on our rocks that I cannot get off. Not with acid. I've tried going the other way. I've tried a real base solution and like scrubbing it with a base solution. And some of this stuff just will not ever. I thought maybe I had one handy here that I could show you guys, but I don't see. Ouch, hurt my wrist leaning like that. I don't see anything really so bad that it's bothering me right here, but I've got some that, well, that one that I chopped, let's grab it. This was Caden's rock. This was my youngest kid's rock, and it, again, I was like, son, we can't get the stuff off of it, so maybe we should just chop it so we can see. Anyway, he gave me permission to, and I butchered it. I really butchered it, so please don't judge me. I was just telling brother it might be about time to change the blade on that tile saw. It's starting to really have a hard time. Well, look at the stuff I'm cutting with it too, by the way. Let me see, my light's kind of taking a tip for the back there. Let's see if we can get it. That's better. Pop it back out front. So, yeah, I can't get the stuff off of this rock. Like, it's even been through the tile saw, and look how much of that stuff is still on there. So, and I've scrubbed it. I've tried soaking it in acid. I've tried scrubbing it with, baking soda base. I've tried. About the only thing I can do is scratch it off with a wire brush, and if I do that, it tends to kind of also mar up the wood a little bit, leave like little. If you use a copper brush, especially, it'll leave copper behind on the rock. But, and I mean, if I like whack it, I can chisel it off, but who has time for that? So anyway, like I say, I got permission from Caden to cut this. It was too big for the tile saw, so I pushed it like I generally do, and I'm like, yeah, I got 3 inches on this side, and flip it over, I got 3 inches on the other side. Let's get that puppy pushed on through there. It's beautiful, isn't it? Despite my crap cutting job. It's not really all that bad, actually. I shouldn't be so hard on myself. Oh, Rufo. Hey, son. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can hear you cussing at your Xbox back there. Oh, the focus just went. No thanks. But yeah, anyway, this stuff, it doesn't matter what you try. It's like the worst stuff in the world. So that was the best thing we could do for, I mean, it's nice. It's nice just the way it is. Whoops, am I putting it together right? Wrong? Yeah, kind of right, wrong. It's nice just the way it is, but how unfortunate that the whole back side of it is so cruddy that you just can't see it. So we might as well just get to cutting it. Now that it's smaller too, I can fit it in my saw a little bit better. You know, the other direction and stuff, and get hopefully some nice slabs out of that someday. Oh, the focus. I've got it zoomed in for all the little rocks, so that was a bit rough. But yeah, I like how the alchemist in us all comes out here, and we're like, let's soak it in iron out, soak it in acid, soak it in peroxide, soak it in... I've got a recipe. I got a recipe that'll knock the iron right off your rocks. add that one to your recipe spot. That one that my friend did. Make a paste out of baking soda. Yeah, the one that makes volcanoes when you add vinegar to it. Baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and bleach. If you want to whiten the crap out of something, there you go. Yeah, you know, I remember when my kids were little and I was going through my acid phase, and I had, you know, mason jars full of acid, and inviting some of the kids as friends to watch, and them being absolutely fascinated. Just like, holy wow, your mom's got bubbling rocks in a jar. Like, whose mom does that? So I tried to just fix the focus on that still image for you guys a little. I hope that helped. So yeah, I mean, the kid in me loves to watch a rock fizz in a jar. Like I say, I'm a pretty simple girl, mildly amused. Oh yeah, so I was telling you guys that this like Model T parade came through town yesterday. All these old Model T cars, one right after the other after the other. There had to be, I don't know, 20 or better of them. And I had stepped outside to take some video and watch them and wave at them on their way through and whatnot. And I came back in, and my boss was like, we just had a gopher run down the aisle. And I'm like, what? Things that only happen in a small town for $100, please. Yeah, it does sound like a kind of a Grateful Dead kind of thing. Yeah, that, you know, couple of years when I went through that acid phase. So anyway, this gopher ran down the aisle, and I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Well, I mean, when I'm at work and I'm looking out the window, I see them across the street over by the bar and the hair salon and stuff. And they're literally getting so bold that they're like running halfway across the street. They'll like run out into the road, pop up and look at everybody, and then pop back down and run back across the street. And I'm like, they're getting bold. Like, they're playing in the road and stuff. Like, dang, this is kind of crazy. So this is my, you know, out the window entertainment when I'm at work, is watching the Gophers play. And they're getting quite numerous. Like I say, they're getting bold enough that they're coming all the way halfway across the street. Well, now they're getting bold enough that they're running all the way across the street. And when our Coke vendor was in the other day and had the back door wide open while he was hauling stuff in and out, he let a gopher into the building. And a couple of the customers saw the gopher run down the aisle and into the back room. And it completely caused my boss to lose his mind. He was grabbing sticky traps and cardboard box pieces and all kinds, anything he could use to block there's only a gap in the bottom of the door about this big. And maybe if this was a mouse could maybe, I don't know. I mean, gophers are amazing. They can smush down and get into holes that are pretty small, but there is this small gap. And so he was like blocking it with cardboard and setting sticky traps on the other side of the door. Like if he even comes near this door, we're going to get him in this sticky trap, right? I know the Coke vendor now. I'm talking about the Coke vendor right after the acid binge. You know what I mean. Anyway, so a customer sees this gopher run down the aisle. We've got him trapped in the back room now with sticky traps and cardboard and anything heavy that we could push the cardboard up against the door with. I'm blocking it with him, and my boss is like, "What is he, super gopher?" And I'm like, "You're the one building gopher traps and like you're the one back here building booby traps. Like I'm just helping, man. I'm just putting something heavy in front of the cardboard so he doesn't push it over and get out of there." So yeah, I think it's great though how my boss just loses his mind when there's any kind of varmint or rodent mention in the facility, which I mean, that's his livelihood and you would not want things chewing on product in the store, but what do you know, I mean that's the you have got to live in a small town to have a day like that. Like, oh yeah, by the way, don't let the gopher out of the back room. We've got him trapped back there. We hope to snare him in our sticky trap. I love being from a small town. I really do. And I love being able to get, like, literally just hop in my pickup, drive a mile down the road, pull over, search a gravel road, search a 2-track, dirt track, whatever, not even just beat my own path, check a hillside, check a, whatever. We've got a place we like to go called the Badlands. It's kind of more private property. You got to have permission to go out there, but I'm telling you, they call it the Badlands because it's no good for farming. It is just rocks like you can't even imagine. So that's kind of a cool place to go. I mean, I'm so lucky. Oh, we've got sandstone formations up here that they call it Jerusalem rock on this side of the border, but on the north side up in Canada, they call it hoodoos. They've got a state park actually made out of these sandstone formations just on the other side of the border called Writing on the Stone. And there's a bunch of pictographs, Native American pictographs up there. There are no pictographs in our rocks down here, not that I've ever seen anyway. But one of these days I want to just do a like all silent where I don't talk. I just walk you guys through the sandstone formations. Some they're quite tall. Some of them are very tall, and so it's just I mean, and you can walk like almost all afternoon. So maybe someday in the future we'll go for a like sensory kind of walk with each other so you guys can feel what it feels like to walk through the sandstone formations. So anyway, I feel really lucky. I feel really lucky that there's half as many gophers in town as there are people, and that I get first pick of all the rocks that I want out here, even if they're just little, guys. I get first pick and I'm plumb delighted. I get to spend time in the great outdoors. I get to come home and visit with you guys about the Coke vendor and the acid binge. And yeah, I love it. Spot had a squirrel run across his keyboard and chat one time. Well, did he have something to say? What did he type with his little squirrel feet? Was it an acronym of some kind? like BRB? Like, like be right back? Should we be trying to decode the squirrel's acronym, Spot? Oh my goodness. Yeah, the day the squirrel went berserk in the First South Baptist Church. Have you guys ever heard that song? It's a good one. We used to listen to that when we were kids. In fact, me and my brother, as adults, we sang that on Smule. Do you guys know what Smule is? It's a karaoke app. Look me up on Smule. I like to sing. Apparently he did. He had something to say. He's gonna like, type it out in Morse code. BRB, whatever it is he had to say. Oh God, he was looking for a nut. Yes, you guys are making my day. This is the best way to celebrate the hump day. We've made it through like halfway through the week. We might as well just have a moment and cut loose with each other. Kind of reset for the next half of the week, You guys are hilarious. I love it. Whew. Yeah. Duh. If you're not hanging out here this morning, you're missing out. We're having a good time. We've got recipes for disaster. We got, alchemy recipes in our notebooks over here. Our evil plans. For science. We do it for science. Oh gosh, you guys. Yeah. So anyway, we can take a little break here between myself and Rufo. Go check Chris out when we're done here. I'm not sure what he's got planned today, but I'm sure it's gonna knock your socks off. It's gonna be super thrilling and educational in some way. We might learn something new together over there. Excuse me. So yeah. You guys stay safe. If you're north of the border, steer clear of the forest fires. If you're south of the border, watch out. I think we're supposed to be having summer weather, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I took a screenshot of it last night. I wonder if I don't know if I dare try to look. It was like 42 degrees, 34. It was just barely above freezing last night. I was freezing my butt off. Yes, it was a Ray Stevens song spot. Yeah, it was. Maybe that's why I'm so weird, is because I was raised on weird stuff like that. Maybe I'm not weird. Maybe I'm just the way I'm supposed to be. But probably later this afternoon, we'll do a live look at some rocks. Awesome. A little bit of a sail, maybe. Yes, the Mississippi Squirrel Revival. That's the one. And it's me again, Margaret. Me again. Oh my goodness. Spot. All right. I don't know why you go to the gym. Why don't you just go lift rocks? Hike the hillside. You'll feel the burn in your calves if you get on that incline. Tell her you hit the incline machine, aka the hillside full of rocks. I told my coworker that the other day. She had to shadow me and learn my job at work the other day, which is actually super physical. I told her I've got legs like a gladiator from pulling pallets, pulling them backwards and stuff, that, man, you will feel your calves burn. And I'm already like pretty physically fit. Like, I don't sit still hardly ever. So I was like, just think about it though. And she was peeling layers off, and she's like, I don't even want to wear my gloves. My hands are sweating. I'm working so hard right now. And I was like, yeah, just think about it. You're getting paid to burn the calories right now. What a deal. So that's cool. That's not an option that I have. I don't have an option to go to a, facility, a gym, indoor court, anything like that when the weather's bad here. So we take full advantage. When the weather's good here, we take full advantage and we get out and enjoy it. So, and then on days when I'm stuck inside, or days when I get to kind of clean up some of my workspace, organize things, take rocks to the choppa, take them to the cabbing machine, things like that on my not so nice days. So there's never not something to be doing. So yeah, anyway, I think that's pretty much everything going on for now. I'm gonna have to look up Rufo later this afternoon, take a little break, Go do something awesome. Go like, spread the love. Go hit those thumbs on some rock counting videos. Leave some comments. Spread the love around the community. Flex your social media muscles. Leave a comment. Leave a thumb up. And yeah, we'll do this again soon. I don't want to say too much just in case it doesn't happen, but if brother gets up here this afternoon and we get on a little walk together, we may have a live tomorrow morning and we can do a like Q&A with brother and tell terrible stories, drag each other through the mud. Remember that time when you ran home crying and was like, "Mom, save me. My older sister's torturing me again." You cried like a baby. Wow, the whole way home. That only happened that one time. And if he were here in the chat right now, he'd say that. So, and then like I say, Mom's threatening to come up on a Sunday so we can have a Sunday fun day walk. She wants to go fossil hunting. So, and she knows a good spot. She knows a good spot, believe it or not. Mom does. She used to do some residential cleaning, some housework. And one of the people that she used to go work for has the spot for fossils. In fact, it's the spot that, it's the property that the school goes to when they go. So like you can literally walk from my door to there and go out and look. And I don't know where it's at. Mom knows. She knows the people. She knows the property better than I do. So believe it or not, she's been places I have not. Yeah, same thing. I don't do any of the other social medias except for YouTube. I do Facebook Messenger because I don't have an actual cell phone. I don't have a text. I almost couldn't even think about what that word was. Text or call. So I use Facebook Messenger as my text basically. So, and I'll once in a while get on and look at my Facebook and it's like, you have 35 new notifications. And I'm like, yeah, I might look at about 4 of those before I lose focus. And I'm like, oh, look, something shiny. That's what I do too, Rufo. I'm not, you know what, there's sayings too. Water before acid, and you know, you'll be, I don't know, and then acid before water, you'll be no bother. You know, there's words like cute little phrases like that to tell you how to dilute your acid and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, we'll just throw it in there. Oh, maybe just a dash of this and a pinch of that. I'm not like Spot. I'm not writing recipes down. I'm trying a brand new batch every time. Like, let's see what happens. For science, for the sake of science, let's see what happens. Yeah, I do check the Discord actually way more often than I check my Facebook. But yeah, YouTube is my main focus for sharing and things like that. So yeah, I like it more too. I like Facebook a lot. And again, I don't TikTok, I don't whatever those, you know, other ones are, but I've heard that the people like in there are just brutal with their comments, and it's not like that at all here. We have built such a cool community here. We're always willing to help, give advice, take care of each other, you know, offer suggestions, offer, you know, all kinds of stuff with each other, and then just super reassuring and encouraging. Again, what is normal, what is weird, it doesn't matter. You're embraced here for exactly who you are. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if I talk like a Canadian and say I'm out in a boat. You guys love me anyway. I love it. So I get asked a lot when I leave here if I'm from Minnesota, if I'm from Canada. I get asked a lot of people here, I guess, hear an accent in my voice when I leave this neck of the woods. To me, it sounds normal. It sounds normal to me that we all talk like that up here. We all do. You know, I'll slip an A in here and there. It sounds completely normal. And I guess it really can sound odd to people from not around here. So, um, yeah, it's what do you consider odd and unusual, and what do you embrace? So, like I say, just such a super cool community here. It doesn't matter if you what doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you talk like, what you sound like. If you've got a passion for rocks, then I'm actually not from Canada. I'm right on the Canadian border, Rufo. So, like literally 7 miles north of me. There's one town on the border here, if this was the US Canada border, and half of the town is in the US side and it's called Sweetgrass, and the other half of the town is in the Canadian side and it's called Coots. And it's literally one town divided by like a super chintzy little like plastic chain link fence. So, yeah, that's our great Canadian border up here. It's I could literally throw a rock into Canada and nobody would give a crap. My dog is crossed unintentionally. She's that little rebel. She's crossed the international border without permission and come back several times. uh, so yeah, I'm not actually up in Canada, but so stinking close. So, and then again, like I've told you guys, I don't have a phone and that I try to communicate with my friends and family. Uh-oh. We lost that light because my tablet just died, so I'm not reading your chats very much either anymore. I'm not going north, obviously. That eliminates that direction. If I'm going north, there's one place up there I would go, and I would tell my friends and family that's where I was going. In fact, probably invite them along because that's one of our favorite places to go. But if I went north, I only went 7 miles. I didn't go any farther than that. So that eliminates kind of that that puts a boundary on me on where I can go rock hounding. It's southeast or west. There's not very much to the north of me. I'm a member of the fringe minority too, by the way. I never did get the jab. So there was a time there when I wasn't welcome in Canada. Not at all welcome because I was not taking their COVID shot. So I actually got COVID and then I went and donated blood and tested positive for the antibodies for COVID. And so that was kind of a neat time to be a blood donor, by the way. So who knows what they did with my antibodies, but they were delighted to take them. So, but yeah, not delighted for me to take that across the border. Part of the fringe minority, not welcome in Canada. So they've lightened up a lot on that right now, but still, I haven't been up since. I haven't been up to Canada since. But a trip to like Dinosaur Provisional Park or something would be definitely worth crossing up for. So, or go see Riding on the Stone again soon, or go up and see Greg or something. So it's not out of the question. I just haven't done it in a long time. But north is there's a boundary up there that I can't pretend like it doesn't exist because it does. And if I'm not aware of it, I'll be in customs and they'll be asking me why I was picking up rocks. They'll ask me if I had anything to do with the Coke vendor or the acid binge I went on a couple of years ago. On that note, you guys, I love you all for all of your weird quirkiness and unusual things. I love you all for your lack of self-control in your rock hobby. I love you all for everything we get to do and share together here. I look forward to next week and we'll do it again. Guys, go out and do the thing, do the awesome thing, do something awesome, and I'll see you guys again soon. You got a package coming soon, Jeff. I'm just short the final step of packing tape. Same thing, Rufo. They're coming. Hopefully by the end of the week I get them down there. So our post office, again, we're really rural. Our post office runs some kind of odd hours sometimes. They took Juneteenth off. Everyone took Juneteenth off except for me. So, all right, guys, happy hump day. We'll see you maybe tomorrow morning. We'll see, maybe next week. And stay tuned for this video. of these rocks coming out between now and then. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for joining me. Pretty rocks out on the prairie. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Pretty rocks to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Thanks for watching, guys.